Hi there. So this video is all about the first studio experience in the integrated arts class, specifically the visual arts module. And this medium that we first used included pencil and pen. So pencil and pen, I think everyone basically knows what these two mediums are. There's a picture on the screen. This medium has several ways to create drawings in shading and coloring. And these are some of the examples of different ways to create. So there's hatching, which is just making marks in the same direction. And then cross hatching, which is making marks in both directions, so in two different directions. And then stippling, which is just making dots. And then blending, which is the amount of pressure used with the medium. So here are a couple of examples. So the first one is hatching. So you can see they created that little circle or ball with just making lines in one direction. They were able to create the different shades of the ball with the pressure they used with the pencil and how many marks they made in that space. It can gradually get lighter in shade when they lighten up the pressure they used or using less marks in a space. And then there's cross hatching, which is very similar to hatching, but they are using marks in two different directions. You can kind of see that there are lines crossing each other. So these are the two lines. And then stippling. So this is again using dots to create art. This is also an example of the ball, just like in the previous slide. But for this, using the dots, you can change this by how many different dots you use in an area. So you can kind of see on the outer side, down at like the bottom right, it is darker because they used more dots in this space, and then it gradually gets lighter because they are using less and less dots. And then there's blending, which again is kind of like shading or coloring in an area. And this depends on the amount of pressure used with the pencil or pen. So you can see on the left-hand side of the shape, it is darker because you are using more pressure, and then it gradually gets lighter and lighter as the pressure lightens up. About this medium, so the color and darkness of the pencil depends on the size and shape of the lead. So for example, a number 2 pencil will have a specific size line it creates and the darkness of the line it creates with the pressure. So there are different sized leads that create different sized lines and have specific shades to them. The pressure being applied also varies the art because if you have more pressure, it'll create a darker area. Lighter pressure will create a lighter area. And then also the angle the pencil is being used. I believe there's a very little preparation when using this medium. I think just making sure the pencils are sharpened and good enough for the students to use. And I believe really any age could use this medium, while as kids grow older, their art skills are more developed. I do think that the younger kids, maybe like 1 or 2 years old, who don't yet really know how to write or draw shapes or things like that, could still use pencils to develop those fine motor skills. So that was all about the first medium we used, pencils and pens.